Cool. So this is episode 7, if I'm not mistaken, is what we settled on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So last time, 2 weeks ago, you guys ended up completing a bit of a mission that was given to you. You went out and you tried to seek what exactly was going on. It seems like there was a bunch of farmland and several other things that were kind of happening in an area just on the outskirts of Waterdeep itself. And so you were asked to go ahead and investigate what exactly was going on by the Emerald Enclave. In that process, you did end up finding a wonderful thing that was happening, to where a former druid was actually the one kind of causing a bit of trouble in the area. After speaking with her for a bit, you ended up dispatching her, leaving her dead body inside of her house along with the dead body of a bear for someone else to clean up at a later date.
I mean, to be fair, Shiny, if there's anything left of that bear, I'll be truly shocked.
There's not.
Sounds like us, though. Sounds like us.
You guys went hog wild on this bear, which is fine. The bear had every single intention of killing you guys, so it's perfectly fine. In that process, once you finished, you did end up returning back to Waterdeep and gained a little bit of a reward and treasure along the way, as well as some stuff actually from the cabin and the adventure from the person that you ended up killing. There's still some stuff that's happening with your newly bought bar, and when you guys got to Waterdeep, you did a little bit of shopping. If I'm not mistaken, you ended up turning in for the night at your same favorite establishment.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I recall.
Perfect. And I think that's where we're gonna open up. So morning time, sun's coming up. You guys don't have anything really planned on the docket, so you can kind of go ahead and kind of figure out how you please.
Well, last time we weren't, it was quite late. We didn't have time to stop by the manor and see how the renovations were being overseen. Would you gentlemen like to step by and see how things are going? Make sure Liv hasn't scared off any more of the staff.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, sir.
Let's go take care of some business.
It sounded a lot more ominous than it probably meant to be, but yeah, you guys can go ahead and take care of some business. So you're just gonna go ahead, walk back down to the alley, and kind of see what exactly was going on for the day. See how far along all your stuff is then.
I believe so. We were itching to see how the renovations are coming along. Perhaps get a return on our investment.
True.
A return on your investment that you're still slightly indebted to. I don't think you've paid anyone back, but
We did not.
yeah. No worries.
Still
You
a
can
little bit
definitely see. Yeah. It's been quite a few days, so they probably made some good progress. But yeah, if you're just gonna go straight to Troll Skull Alley, need to do any shopping, anything like that in the morning? Did you want to stop off anywhere?
I'm good. I did my shopping that I needed to do before we closed off the last session. I got that leather armor, so
Right. Cool.
yeah. +1, baby.
Yeah, I'm alright.
I believe
I'm
I've
good.
got everything we need for the near future.
Mm-hmm.
So at level 3, what is everybody's total health?
Mine,
Go ahead.
24.
Hold on. All right, because I'm not to get sidetracked. I just saw what someone said in Vale's chat, so I just gonna point out the same thing. I am sitting at 28.
Same 28.
Cool.
Yeah,
Just so that way,
24 for me.
I know who I need to prioritize in healing things.
Okay.
I
And-
also not to get
you guys-
too into it. Go ahead.
Sorry, did you guys increase your health with the level up? You have
Those
to do
are
that
automatic.
manually.
Yeah,
It
it
is
did it
Yeah, it should be
automatically.
automatic. I honestly haven't been paying attention, but it should.
Oh, I've
go,
been
I
rolling
think.
mine because I don't try. I prefer to roll. So
Oh,
Damn.
I didn't even. Yeah, I mean,
Well, hard.
do whatever works for you. I don't know how that stuff works really, so I just do it. What
I
Beyond
just click
says.
level
like,
up and it happens. I'm like, okay, cool.
yeah.
Well, I think it does the average increase method,
yeah,
which, if I'm not mistaken, is what the automatic is.
Mhm.
So that's your.
Yeah, and
so-
then
go ahead.
no. What were you gonna say? Mine's kind of not sequitur thing.
So it's half your hit die plus your con modifier, I think.
no, it's your full. It's you roll your hit dice, one of them, and add your con.
No, I mean for the automatic increase.
Oh yeah.
So whatever your hit die is plus your con modifier.
Mhm. Yeah, and D&D Beyond does that automatically for you when you
Okay.
go to level up. It will automatically add all that in for you like you did just a regular roll. So also if you didn't take it, you all got a long rest as well. So if you need to up your health back to full, use your replenish your skills, whatever it is, or your spells, whatever it is.
Yep.
Just to
Got
make
it.
sure that we're good on that. Cool. Awesome.
All good.
Nice. Yeah, so as you guys kind of wake up, the sun is pretty much kind of at a pretty risen state. It's officially kind of the morning. A lot of people are getting out for the night, going ahead, setting up their shops. It seems like it's a normal kind of hustle and bustle that you kind of expect now, that you've become accustomed to in actual Waterdeep. And as you guys are walking into the alleyway, it seems like everything is pretty normal. You see pretty much everyone that it was setting up shop before is doing so as you get closer and closer to the actual manor. But suddenly, all of a sudden, there's this large commotion. And from what you can tell, there's just a large, almost explosion close to your actual manor. There's a ton of windows that are kind of blown out. You see smoke kind of rise through the actual alleyway, and you hear just a cacophony of just screams from people that are fleeing. Seems like possibly from the epicenter. It just seems like that there's something that happened. You're not 100% sure what.
Okay. Hmm.
I mean, do we go check it out?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I believe there may be some injured folks. We should perhaps give them some assistance. There's no telling what's going on. We
True.
wouldn't want
Yeah.
this commotion to spread to our establishment
business.
either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go.
Do we know what direction, based on Troll Skull Manor, that people are fleeing from, or the commotions coming
Yeah,
from?
they're all actually kind of running from Troll Skull Manor itself, kind of further down, moving actually west, kind of past the Tiger Eye, and as you are coming up past the Bookworm's Treasure, some people are kind of running out. You believe that the actual explosion happened kind of really close to the actual manor itself.
Okay.
Perhaps our spirit got into something he wasn't supposed to. We should probably hurry.
Mm-hmm. Let's get a move on.
And I'm gonna run as quickly as I can towards that direction.
Same.
Sure. So as you guys are running, you're getting closer and closer. You start to actually smell a bit more of kind of this, all of a sudden, soot that's just in the air. And as you get closer, you do realize that there are quite a few charred bodies just kind of laying in this little area where it seems like a lot of dust and dirt was kind of blown outwards from this actual impact site. From what you can tell, it's about 6 or 7 bodies currently laying on the ground next to the actual explosion itself.
Oh.
From this distance, can we see was the explosion at Troll Skull Manor, or was it in one of the adjacent structures?
So it was more so in the actual like roadway itself.
Okay.
You're not. It wasn't like. It was kind of close to a building because everything's just kind of tightly packed in the actual alleyway, but it doesn't seem like it was a business that caught fire or anything like that. Does anyone have Arcana trained at all?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not me, rather.
I got +2.
Yeah, minus.
One.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
if
rolling.
someone wants to do an Arcana roll,
Ouch.
Sweet. Natural 1
Wow.
plus 2.
That's a 1.
I'll give it a shot. Why not?
That's a 3. Oh, baby.
That ain't great.
That's an 11 because I have -1.
No,
I got a
that's
16.
one. Okay.
16.
You got a 16.
Would you?
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Cool.
Freaking
So, Foghorn, as you guys get a little bit closer, it's something that you commonly have seen before and something you're a bit familiar with. It seems like that the actual impact was caused by a fireball spell.
Okay.
And to confirm, it was along the street where it occurred, correct?
Yep, yeah, it was along the street itself. Again, doesn't seem like that necessarily came from. Actually, why don't I share the Troll Skull Alley? So, as far as where the explosion would have happened, where it should be sharing now for you guys.
Yeah.
It would be where it says north, or kind of where those like roads kind of intersect with one another. The explosion happened right there, pretty much just north of the actual alleyway itself. So where it has that little turret in it, that's the actual Troll Skull Manor. It would have happened just in that little intersection.
Okay. There's some kind of maybe there's some kind of fight going down over here.
Someone's casting magic of that caliber. It could be quite dangerous. We should be on our guard. And I'm gonna pull out my longbow, and as I'm doing this, looking for anyone who might be severely injured, so I can pull them away from the calamity.
True. I can always turn into like a fast animal and run injured civilians to a healer or doctor of sorts if needed.
In relation to where the explosion is in Troll Skull, roughly where are we at this time?
So you're coming from the west.
Okay.
So actually directly to the left of Troll Skull, that's the alleyway that you're coming down after
Okay.
hearing the explosion.
Okay.
So it's to the left as we go.
Yeah, you guys are going from left to right.
Okay. from this distance, can we begin to see if there's anyone who's injured or fighting or causing the incident?
So there's no fighting. It seemed like there was quite a scurry of people that all just kind of left the scene as quick as they could, just because they weren't 100% positive of what exactly was going on. So as everyone kind of fled, you see a lot of people, again, running off in all direction. Some people seem to be kind of dragging some people along that are hurt. But from what you can see, again, it's about 6 or 7 dead, pretty charred bodies, just where the actual blast would have occurred.
Okay.
Tenach, do you happen to have anything that can create a large quantity of water, or anything to smother this fire?
I can make more fire.
I don't believe that would be advantageous at the moment. Unless we want to burn down our newly bought building.
No water. I just have ice knife.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like anything's on fire necessarily.
Okay.
Okay.
It just anything that was in the blast, like some just basic stalls and carts, are pretty much charred. The way that the way that Foghorn would have told you guys about the blast is it hits and everything just kind of is either evaporated or things just kind of exploded. It doesn't necessarily burn something, it more so just destroys things in its path.
Okay.
So nothing's continually burning right now. There's no sign that the damage is spreading still?
No, there's just some embering and smoldering from what seems like wood from carts, as well as the dead bodies.
As we get closer, is there anything that we can see that looks like it would have been the source of the blast? Or where the impact or epicenter was?
You guys can make an investigation check if you would like.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh my god.
I got a
can't
-1
investigate shit.
to this, so...
So do I, dude. 10.
15?
8.
And 20. Natural 20, baby.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Plus
Nice.
0.
Yeah, that's insane that you would get that. So you look around and you don't really have an idea possibly where it would have come from at all. There's just nothing that would suggest it, who would have done it. It just seems like something happened and then there was kind of nothing really left.
Wow. And natural 20 doesn't show who it was. Wow.
Yeah, sorry, brother.
Damn. Okay. Well,
It's a time we really could use the advice of a mage or a sorcerer. But I'm not familiar with this type of destructive magic. But gentlemen, do you know if you could store a spell for something like this to occur? Or... I'm not as familiar. I'm just grasping at straws at this point, trying to determine
sure,
if
somebody could have stored a spell or purchased a scroll with a spell, and used it as a bomb. But we don't know. We don't see the caster or the user of said scroll, so who knows?
Are there any people in the area, obviously besides the ones that are now charred corpses, but are there any people around? Town's guard? Is there anybody suspicious looking, or somebody who may have seen what happened?
So no, there are people around. As far as like the city guard or anything like that, you don't see any city guard around as of yet.
Okay.
Are there any animals around? Stray cats, dogs, birds, anything like that that are cowering or hiding around that we could potentially talk to?
Pretty much everyone, or most everyone, and quite a few different animals would have actually just kind of scattered from the actual blast site. About the only thing that you 100% see are the people that you would expect in Troll Skull. There's people like Fala, who is the proprietor at the Corleone's Crown, and just kind of all the business owners in the area as well. Outside of that, there are some onlookers, possibly just rubbernecking.
Okay.
Someone had to have seen what was going on. There's no way such a massive explosion went unseen at the time. I would hope at least one person had spotted it and not been caught in the blast.
Maybe if we go to the pub, we can find someone there that might know something.
You mean the yawning portal? Or perhaps if one of the workers in our establishment may have seen something. I mean, it is in close proximity.
Yeah, let's go talk to our spirit friend.
That's another good idea. Foghorn, are you able to commune with the dead in a more intelligent manner?
Not yet. I think later I can, but right now all I can do is spare the dying. I can touch a living creature that has 0 hit points and they become stable, but I can't. There's nothing about communicating with the dead.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I think trying to stay within close proximity to what happened. There's got to be someone. I mean, we're directly across from where the blast occurred. We should perhaps see if there's any workers who saw what happened, or at least caught a glimpse of the blast.
True. Yeah. I'm gonna go try and talk to the closest business owner that's currently in shop, and try and ask and see if they were around when this happened.
Okay, cool. So at this point, the person that would have been closest is Fala, who would have heard the explosion and kind of would have made her way over from Corleone's Crown, which is just south of Troll Skull itself. So she would have been, I don't know, maybe about 120 feet from the actual blast when it would have occurred. And she kind of made her way out and walked her way up the alley.
So she was walking north up the alley between Troll Skull Manor and her establishment, heading directly towards the blast.
Yeah, closer towards the blast itself.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go talk to her.
Yeah, as you approach, she kind of gives a bit of a nod. It's a bit frantic. It seems like she's kind of breathing a bit short and just very quick. The events that were happening. As she approaches, she just looks at all of you and says, "Are any of you hurt?"
No, thankfully, we were just passing on our way to Troll Skull Manor when we heard the blast, and were you able to see it as it went off?
Didn't see it when it went off. I was in the greenhouse on the second floor when all of a sudden all the windows were just busted out from it. Thankfully, I'm uninjured, but through the smoke of the actual blast itself, I did notice a man go over to one of the bodies and seemed to look at it for a bit before limping off. I believe he was a bit hurt from the blast itself. He just ended up making his way actually north towards the past the alley.
Did you perhaps make out any details of this gentleman?
No, it was too obscured by the actual smoke itself, fortunately.
Seems rather odd that somebody would be immediately preoccupied with examining a body and then, as if to assist someone, and then immediately leave. Seems a bit suspect.
I don't know if he was a friend and he was just trying to get to safety or what the case was, but he didn't really look over the dead at all. He just immediately got up, left, and that was the last I'd seen of him as he was going north.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit of a lead, and it's concerning to have such a dangerous, arcane blast go off so close to, all of our hard-earned investments and close to your establishment. Has anything like this ever happened before?
Nothing like this. Obviously, the fighting has got a bit rough between Xanathar and the Zentrum, but can't imagine that the likes of those that were burned were part of either group.
Getting rather tired of these hoodlums and thugs, and now they're dragging innocent people into their mindless games.
Real quick, how timing wise, how close were we to the proximity of the explosion? Like to where we are now, how long did it take for us to get to where we are from when we heard it?
Since you guys kind of picked up and ran pretty quick, you did get there about a minute or so after. You were kind of outside of the area considered Troll Skull Alley, but you made your way pretty quick. So yeah, about a minute and a half maybe. You more so heard the explosion and heard the screams.
Gotcha. Okay. So my thinking is if she knows, well, she doesn't know what he looks like or whatever, but if she's saying that he went north and at least like she can kind of point what way we can go. Yeah, we might not know what he looks like, but we know that he has a limp. So if he's limping, there's a good chance that if we bolt after him, we could probably find him if we want to pursue that. That's my thought.
I can also go up into the sky to try and get a bigger view.
We got Birdie Boy here.
Wait, what about if you can't fly yet, Vale? You can't change it to a flyer yet, or yours it's like a once per day thing?
A single raven.
I mean, you can still get up there.
As this is happening, you start to hear the marches of a few different city guardsmen making its way closer towards the blast.
Well, gentlemen, if we want to take a last second look at this area, we should perhaps do so before the guards get here, and then make our way north to find this gentleman. Because once they get here, they're gonna button down this area pretty quickly.
Let's move out. Let's move north. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your info.
Be safe.
We'll,
If
see
you
you
need
soon.
a place to stay or there's any damages, feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to help you as a neighbor.
I might turn into something very fast. Let me
Ostrich.
yes.
Because that's
Giant
not
frog.
conspicuous as hell.
What the hell turn an ostrich do in these parts?
Try and capture him. He's just like, no, man. Just smacks him.
If you turn it into an ostrich, I'm going to try to ride you.
Hey, I won't say no. Hop on, baby. Let's go.
Oh, it's gonna be like that, huh? All right. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those episodes. All right.
Well, I don't know what the weight carrying capacity of an ostrich is, and whether or not what the weight of chainmail is.
As all of this is happening, suddenly it seems like the more city guardsmen as well as some griffins are now flying overhead amongst Troll Skull.
Oh boy.
They start to kind of cordon off the actual area of the blast and start to do a bit of investigations themselves.
Okay. Well, I guess we're not getting past all these fools.
We should perhaps go the long way around, but continue heading north if we can.
True.
So,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that most of these streets are kind of, north, south, east, west. That we could potentially just go a few blocks in either direction and then continue heading north. Getting around.
Exactly.
Okay. That works. Yeah, that works for me.
I believe we should head the east to west, gentlemen, and then try to head north and then cut back towards our quarry's path. See if we can perhaps find this limping individual.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll break his leg.
Break his good
A few
leg.
of the city guardsmen start knocking on doors in the area, making sure that people are safe, as well as questioning anyone that would have been around the area.
Surely not us.
Depends. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, let's try and head north. Try and find this fellow, this limping man. That's what I'd like to do.
I
Well,
agree.
I don't
Take
think
the
we can
law
head.
into our hands. You know,
I'm on board with that.
I don't think we can head due north right now.
we are the law.
We are north.
Okay. The city guard are on pretty high alert, kind of trying to round up whoever they can. If you guys are going to try that, I am going to need stealth checks from everyone.
Ooh, hot.
Hmm.
I think I actually. Oh, wait. Am I good in stealth? Hold on.
God shady.
No, I'm good at deception. I can do that. I'm good at
That's
deception
funny.
and intimidation. I have +1 in stealth though.
You got a nat 20. Damn.
Nice.
Okay.
ODB's just flying in there. He's like, you can't see me.
I mean, I do play a rogue in my other game, so I'm used to being stealthy. Maybe it's just carrying over.
It's a 14 plus 5, 19.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I have disadvantage because of my armor. Shit.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
No nat 20.
I'll talk my way out of it. It's fine.
Yeah,
I got
21 would have been real nice, but okay.
Yeah.
So
I do also have a +2, so it's a 22. But
it's a 22. Okay.
yeah,
I
I
know.
mean,
He's got enough
He's-
self to go around. I can
Yeah,
just
I
follow
share.
him. He can share.
sorry, quick maths. 2060 divided by 4.
If it was a few more levels later when we did this, I could have cast a certain spell, but not right now.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys are trying to scurry away, it is kind of a bit of a high watch area, as there are griffins that are flying overhead, as well as about at this point 20 different city guard veterans that are knocking on the door, as well as about 18 soldiers that have now kind of descended on the area. And as this is happening and you're trying to get away, suddenly a pretty short person carrying a cane just goes and looks over your way, and he has big green glasses on, really thick, almost Coke bottle green glasses, and he says, "Those ones, they're trying to get away, question them." And all of the city guard that were originally cordoning off the actual blast site now kind of start running your way.
Rope.
Oh.
Okay.
Shit.
let's move.
I don't believe trying to run at this point would be advantageous. We could perhaps be mistaken for the true culprit here.
Yeah, I'll just go punch that nerd in the face. Friggin' Coke bottle glasses. What's he?
Coke bottle glasses
Mind
looking
your
ass.
business.
Oh,
Mind your business.
I'm gonna turn into an elk and charge his ass into a fucking.
oh, we're all gonna die.
I'm not actually turning into an elk.
So wait, all right. So these guys, so they're coming. Sorry, so they're coming out there. So what do you guys want? Are we gonna try to fight our way out of this, or we're gonna try to talk our way out of this? Because I'm down to do either.
I believe words would perhaps be the wiser option right now.
You spelled
It's-
boring wrong.
Yeah, it's about 18 city guard as well as 5 griffin riders overhead.
Oh, 18. Oh, okay.
Words
all right.
would
Yeah.
definitely be the better option right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
We're talking.
Words can be weapons. We can do it that way. It's we got it. Yeah, we got it. It's okay.
Long story short, keep the weapons in their sheaths.
Okay.
So we're not trying to do anything out of the ordinary. We're trying to find a gentleman that maybe hurt. One of our neighbors said that a man was seen limping away from the accident. We were concerned that he may be one of our other neighbors.
Who are you talking to?
The gentleman that pointed at us with the Coke bottle glasses.
The stout figure.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so he starts walking over your way. He's about 5'2", is in kind of long garb, purple from head to toe. Kind of uses a cane to get over. And he goes, "I believe that's my job." And as he gets closer, he just introduces himself, and he says, "Barnaby Blastwind, lead investigator of the City Watch." Who exactly were you looking for?
Well, we just moved into the area. We're the new proprietors of Troll Skull Manor, and we were recently introducing ourselves to some of our neighbors. We stepped out of town to do a bit of freelance work for the Emerald Enclave. And when we returned, we were greeted by this atrocious incident, and we were concerned that some of our new friends and neighbors and acquaintances had been hurt. One of our next door neighbors said a man nearby was seen limping away. We were concerned that he was perhaps too injured to remain in this disastrous area. We were concerned, so we were trying to find our way after him.
And which way was he heading exactly?
I believe she said north, but I could be mistaken. We were all in a bit of a frantic hurry.
He gives a quick hand gesture to a much taller, much paler figure who walks over, and he just the guy just bends closer towards his mouth to kind of lend his ear, and suddenly he just commands the Griffin Riders and just points them north, and suddenly 3 of the Griffin Riders just start heading their way north, presumably looking for whoever may have gotten away.
Okay.
And he asks, "What else did you see?"
I'm afraid that's all we know at the moment. We
didn't see nothing.
we
All we
heard
heard was the blast. That's about it.
Yeah, we heard the explosion and came running to check for any injured civilians and to check on our business here. And by the time we got here, all we found was charred bodies, and we spoke to our neighbor, and now we're here.
He just kind of nods his head and just says, "If you hear anything else, just let us know." And he walks his way back on over to the actual blast itself.
Thank you, sir. We'll be on our way. And I'm gonna turn to everybody and say, we should leave as quickly as possible, as Griffins will certainly track him down if he's seen wandering the streets.
Yes. Let's go.
Okay, so you're still heading up north then?
I think so.
Yeah.
Same. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so you're able to make your way through some kind of back alleys to actually get towards the actual northern road that leads outside of Troll Skull itself. And it seems like there's a lot of talking happening, kind of murmurs going all throughout the entirety of the area as word kind of spreads of this blast. You hear people kind of frantic, some people actually shutting up shop for the day, moving actually away from the alleys. It seems like the city guard are just further and further pushing people away from the actual proximity as they continue their investigation. And as this is happening, suddenly a little kid runs up to you and just asks, "Were you around the blast?"
We heard a
No.
blast, but we weren't around it for very long before the city guard got in our way. Did you see it, little one?
Yeah, I was close with my mom. We were going down there to just make our way up north to get some baked goods, and suddenly there was an explosion. I decided to just duck and run for cover, and I know that you were talking to the city guard. Perhaps you could give them this. And he hands you guys a necklace that has 2 beads hanging from it. And he says, "I'm not sure where it came from, but after the blast, it seemed to almost fall from the sky."
What kind of baked goods were you getting?
Be specific.
Some bread rolls, just normal stuff for the rest of the day.
Mm.
That's
what
where
we
the
like to
fire
hear.
came from.
I believe this kid. I believe him.
Thank
Sit-
you.
You said this necklace fell from the sky.
That's what it seems like. I got behind about the only cover I could find, which was the rain barrel, and suddenly it just seemed to come down. I don't know where from or from what, but it just kind of conveniently plopped almost right in front of me.
Well, thank
Where's
you.
your
For,
mom?
It seemed like we both just kind of scurried in different directions. I don't know quite yet. I was just gonna head on back home. That's about the only thing that I think of at the time.
well, be safe, little
Alright.
one. And
I'll be your daddy.
Okay, all right. Oh
Fucking
God.
weird.
this
I'm a bee child.
I'll be your
this
daddy.
fucking section, dude. Oh,
That just went sideways.
no.
Never mind. Get out of here. Scurry. I don't want you anymore. You are not my child.
Daddy went to get cigarettes and never came back. Oh God.
Oh,
Anyway,
oh man.
Foghorn, can you sense anything from this? I'm not as familiar with magic, but I mean, seeing something fall from the sky right after a magical blast of fire seems a bit odd for anyone. Or if any of you are familiar with this kind of thing, it's a bit outside of my realm. Can I see any, fingerprints or any blood or anything on the necklace?
So you don't see any fingerprints or blood, but it actually seems like there's a splinter of wood that's actually attached to the end of it. A small splinter of wood.
Perhaps this was in a cart or a box.
True.
Potentially.
Is anybody familiar with any type of detection magic? Anything that might be able to sense if this had something to do with the incident?
So I was carrying detect magic, but I got rid of it because we weren't using it, and it requires the spell slot. So
Damn.
Yeah, I
Yep.
never prepared it either because, we never
I
ran.
carried it for the first 6 sessions and didn't use it a single time.
Yeah. Well, could.
So there's two ways that you can kind of go ahead and look over something if you're not sure what it is. You can go ahead and use an identify skill if you have it. I doubt that any of you would have it at this point. Or
No.
you could go ahead and actually just kind of look over it and study it a bit. The item. It would require an Arcana check from whoever wants to actually sit there and go through the actual studying of the item and see if you can kind of glean anything off of it.
I have something called guidance. It's a cantrip. I touch one willing creature before the spell ends. The target can roll an extra d4 and add that number rolled to one ability check of its choice.
Ooh.
At the highest Arcana, I got +2.
Oh yeah, I'd say he's the candidate then.
Yeah, so this will give you, so if I do that, so I touch you and you roll an extra d4 when you roll your d20.
Okay.
Hot.
Well,
You
Tenach, you seem...
can choose to do it. So if you roll high and you're like, I'm fine with that, you can or cannot use it. It's up to you.
Yeah, you can save it for another check down the road should you.
Here we
roll a
go.
fucking 20.
I'm gonna use my actual dice for this one because digital is not cooperating.
Not being friendly.
Yeah, let's do an Arcana check. 12 plus my D4. 2, so I got 14.
And that's with your modifier.
Yeah, that's with the plus 2 and the 2 on the D4.
Okay. So you look over the necklace a bit, and it seems to be, again, just kind of exactly what it looks like. It's a necklace, and it has 2 different small beads that are hanging from it. However, it seems like there's 3 of them. There's a right and a middle one that looks like one's actually missing off to the left. So it seems like there were 3 beads actually on the necklace itself. And as you investigate it a bit more, you do see almost little etchings on the beads themselves. You look at it, you try to make it out a little bit, and it's kind of hard for you to kind of see what it is because the beads are so small. But after some time, you do notice that it is basically an etching of a fire itself. As you kind of piece everything together, it takes you about 10 minutes, but you eventually do come to the conclusion that this necklace itself gives the user the ability to cast Fireball.
Nice.
Oh.
So we're holding a bomb.
Okay.
A pair of
Well-
bombs.
We are not giving this to the city guard.
I wouldn't recommend it because they'd probably assume that we were the ones who did it, and if there's one missing, that would explain the inopportune explosion.
I just whisper, "Thank you, my child."
Is there an age rating on this fireball necklace? why did the 8-year-old have the fireball necklace?
Ready for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone can catch these fireballs.
Jesus. Oh man. Well,
So do we
I
want to
mean-
keep this thing?
yeah, I'll wear the hell out of this bad boy. I mean, like, let's roll for it, baby. Like, I'm trying to cast some fireballs.
Oh yeah.
What's your, out of curiosity, what's your do you have a spell modifier?
What's my spell modifier? Well, that's just your wisdom, right?
I don't know, because like I mean the
Bringing
reason
yourself
why I'm
down.
asking is because like so I'm on my spell page, right? So it has I have a +2 modifier, but I have a +4 spell attack. So that's why I'm just curious to see whose
+5.
hands it would be better in. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely you then, for sure.
I have +5 spell attack.
Yeah, so you keep for sure.
+5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what we can see from this, does it?
What's yours?
+4.
+4. Okay.
Yeah, thank you to
Yeah, I mean,
Canada
you should-
Vale.
Yeah, you should take it anyway. Like, I'm trying to save most of my stuff for healing purposes.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of healing, before Stopper, you go what you're gonna say. ODB on the overlay, it says that you're at 29 out of 39 for your health. Did you heal, or are you not using the sheet?
No, I should be 29 out of 29.
Oh, okay, it says 39. That's I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, I input something. I
Okay.
input an override by accident when I was trying to add.
Oh,
And,
gotcha.
Yeah, I have 29 total, so it should just be 29 out of 29.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, I guess I'll take possession of the necklace, and I'm not gonna wear it right now because that would be a little
Flamboyantly
not-
dangerous.
A little
yeah,
suspect.
not good looking on us. A little sus. So, yeah, I'm gonna just stash it in my pocket. I guess for now.
So one
So hold
question
on.
I had about the necklace are these jewels. Do they look somewhat fragile? Are they like poppers basically, or are they, or is this more like a well-contained blast device? Or is this something that, you know, could go off in your pocket?
So I ended up actually sharing the item itself with Tenach. But basically, the way that it works is, from studying it, you get the idea that you actually take a bead off of it and you throw it, and wherever that bead actually lands is what causes the fireball to go off.
Oh, it's like Rexplosion from Invincible. That's dope. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why it seems
that's
like
why there's
that.
a missing bead.
That's why there's a missing bead, and that's why no one really had any idea of seeing it's a freaking fireball. You would see it. No one actually saw a fireball coming from anywhere. It just seemed to almost just go off.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's dope.
Okay.
Yeah, that is sick.
So I get to cast 2 fireballs. Cool.
You have up to 2 charges.
Okay.
If you were to say go wild and throw both fireballs, and you just go nuts, it would upcast it to level 4 from a level 3 fireball.
Very nice.
Hmm.
I like that.
Very nice.
Perhaps give us a bit of warning before you throw one of those.
So
lasso.
yeah. Essentially, the way that it works is if you do use it, it will do 8d6 of damage.
Ooh, nice. Okay. I'm just making an item in my equipment, I guess. I'm just gonna.
You already have it. I added it for you in your equipment.
Oh,
It should have updated for you. It will just say necklace of fireball. For me, it's at the very top. Underneath equipment, all.
equipment all. Yeah, it didn't update yet. It's okay.
Same. Well, you have 2 charges left on a necklace of fireball.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Judging by what the young lad said, the necklace had fallen from the sky. So either something was flying and dropped the explosive bead, or someone was on a rooftop high enough that it would have dropped at his feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could have came from above, or it was from that man that it was limping away.
Yeah, I'm not inclined to think it's, well, you know, I don't think it's the rooftop scenario, only because what's it called? If the guy that we're thinking it is Days has a limp, I think the last place you want me to do is jump a roof to roof with a limp.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps he got the limp when he fell from the roof.
Oh, that's a good point too.
I'm no stranger to falling as a younger child from a high place. That's not something you recover from quickly.
True.
So perhaps we're looking for somebody who was, maybe he dropped it by accident, or he was aiming at something and let it slip out of his hand in his hurry to escape. Seems like this just doesn't seem like an accident. Out of character, was there a particular that building that the blast occurred in front of? Was that a specific marked establishment, or?
No, just
Okay.
seemed to be in the alleyway itself.
Okay.
Okay.
perhaps some of these bandits are getting a bit hasty and are gaining access to things they shouldn't. This is a rather dangerous item to be carrying around.
Hmm.
Maybe somebody got a bit cocky and or perhaps was in over their head in a street brawl and thought that this would be a easy way of dealing with a confrontation.
True. Could have been the Xanathar. Yeah. I guess we'll find out. I mean, the Griffins, we've been sitting here for a good 10 minutes looking at this necklace. So either that guy is gone or the Griffins caught him.
From where we are now, can we see if there's any of the Griffins, the soldiers circling in the sky?
No, at this point, so they are circling, and you really didn't get too terribly far from the actual Troll Skull Alley itself before things started to, before that kid kind of introduced the necklace to you. So you're not terribly far away, so you still see the ones that are circling overhead, and it seems like some are just kind of almost making a perimeter to see if they can find anything.
Well, if I was an injured hood that had dropped my devastating explosive, I would look to escape to a place where I could be unseen as quickly as possible. Are there any what looks like accesses to the sewer system or escape routes underground that might have been nearby?
I mean, it's a pretty well established city. There's kind of a sewer system all throughout the entirety of it. You wouldn't be 100% positive if someone were to duck off into one, which one would be more advantageous over the others.
Okay.
The child was just north of the explosion. If they were heading that direction, the child didn't mention running into somebody with a limp, did he?
We didn't ask him.
That's right.
I just tried to make him my child. told him to run away.
Hey kid, you want this guy to be your daddy? By the way, you see an old man with a limp walking around here.
I'm gonna be your daddy.
I'll be your father. Also, did you see an old man?
I'll be your father. Speaking of old man.
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
perhaps go ahead.
I don't know how to even begin looking for this man that's limping.
I mean, I think our best bet is just to keep going north, and eventually we'll probably, assuming how the story's gonna progress, I'm gonna guess if we keep going north, we'll probably bump into the riders at some point. So I think we just keep heading north and just hope we strike oil.
I agree. North seems to be the only option we have right now. It's the only lead that we have, is the statements of our neighbor.
True. Okay, that sounds good. I'm down for that.
Cool.
So now that we've kind of gone around their perimeter, we can just head due north in that direction.
Yeah, you wouldn't seem to be inhibited from anything.
Real quick, can everybody tell me what their armor rating is right now, just so I know for future for something?
17.
15.
It depends if I'm wearing my leather armor or my chainmail. Chainmail is 18, leather is 15.
Okay, and you're wearing leather right now, right?
Yeah, because I want to. When I
Yeah.
put the chainmail on, I can't fly.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I have a spell
Yeah.
that would be useful later when we get into combat, so I'm just trying to determine what my options are later.
Cool.
I do have bark skin now as well, so just keep that in mind. I don't even know what it does. Let me go look at that.
It
Literally
so
free.
someone's yeah, you basically make them to have tree armor. It doesn't add anything unless they are under 16, I believe, to begin with. So with bark skin, you could cast it on someone, and at the very minimum, their AC would not go below. It might be 16, might be 17. I forget which.
So it would. I can literally give 1 AC to Stopper or ODB. Like,
This
You are now
opportunity, you could have said you could have gave one of them wood.
true. Hey there, buddy.
Session.
Listen, you opened this door.
Oh,
Give him a little tap.
I am Groot.
Yeah. But yeah, it basically gives them natural armor. If there's something that were to try to reduce it past that point, it wouldn't have any effects.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Alright. Got it. Okay.
So I'm gonna head north and just keep a keen eye out for anything that looks like blood or scraps or anything that looks like charred footprints, anything that would have shown a sign of somebody trying to flee or something of that nature, somebody who's injured.
Okay. We'll just take a base investigation check from everyone.
One of these days, it's gonna be something I actually can roll in. I swear.
You're oof.
Mia too.
11.
I'm the best
11.
detective.
You're okay. Yeah. So I mean, as you guys are traveling north, you're just trying to keep an eye on anything really. Charred garments, possibly blood. Anyone again limping may have made some sort of splint and used some things that kind of possibly fix their hurt leg. Seems like news is spreading really fast through the entirety of Waterdeep at this point. Pretty much everyone that you pass, they are all talking in some form or fashion about this explosion. It's something that doesn't happen pretty much at all. The people are used to basic gang fighting in a way, and faction fighting, but nothing to this extreme. It seems like something that is quite uncommon compared to everything else. And you kind of keep an ear out, try to see if anyone has any sort of information for you. When suddenly a person comes up and it's a male halfling, and he just asks, "Aren't you all the proprietors of the Troll Skull Manor?"
Yes.
Do we recognize this halfling at all? Is it?
No, it doesn't really seem like
Okay.
he's ringing a bell to anyone.
Why would? Yes, we recently came into ownership of the property. Why do you ask?
He sticks out his hand and just says, "I'm Genrin. I'm friends of Vincent Tresh. I hope that you met him. He runs the Tiger Eye, the investigation area. He did tell me when the blast happened, he seemed to just kind of get out of the way. That in the process, he possibly saw something kind of scurrying away from everything. He has a keen eye, and it seemed like almost like an animatronic puppet was kind of running on the actual rooftops. I'm sure you guys remember the Day of Wonder. Did you guys go to the parade that recently happened? If you would have possibly seen one of these animatronic puppets. It seemed possibly that it was one of those. It seems quite uncommon that you would see one kind of far away from its actual creator. I'm not 100% positive why this would have happened, but again, this is all hearsay. I'm not 100% positive of seeing it myself, but this is just what Vincent kind of shared with me. Did you see anything like that?
No, we were told that a person had ran off from the blast, but we weren't certain of whom or what had escaped or ran off after the explosion. You said this was a puppet? Is it a magical implement of some kind? We're not as familiar. We weren't here during the celebration, so you'll have to excuse our ignorance.
Yeah, it's half made of wood and half made of metal. It's called a nimblewright. And he kind of gives a description of what they are, and they are quite ornate in nature. They stand maybe about 4 feet tall, and yeah, you should see it now. It was in the parade itself. It was wearing a cloak and was carrying what looked like a fencing saber almost. But the person that you were talking to, Genren, at this point, he kind of tells you more and more about the actual nimblewrights itself, and they are typically something that is just controlled by its actual creator. It's not something that is too common that you would just see out on its own. That would be very very odd. But he tells you more and more that this nimblewright, if he remembers correctly, it actually came from the house of the inspired hand, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the temples of Gond, and it sits kind of close to the sea ward, over by the docks. That's where I would have known this thing to come from. They're the ones that always kind of create these inventions for the actual Days of Wonder itself. Perhaps it would have tried to make its way over there.
You said this creature was made of wood, correct? That it was some sort of like marionette, a puppet?
Kind of a combination of two things. It's like a light wood, as well as a little bit of metal, just to keep it from falling apart. To my understanding, it's a very, very lightweight wood itself. It's slightly brittle.
And Vincent saw it climbing above the rooftops just before or just after the...
He said that Vincent, again, he has a pretty keen eye for things, and after the explosion, he said that his eyes just started to wander and drift, as it doesn't seem like anyone would have been close to the blast itself, and that's when he actually saw one of the things actually running along the rooftops itself.
It's quite a keen eye that Vincent has. We'll definitely have to ask him, because it's quite terrifying to have something like that happen so close to home. But it's good to know that we have eagle-eyed neighbors that we can rely on.
Of course, I would highly recommend meeting him if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely should.
This temple of... You said it was Temple of Gaunt, correct?
Bond, yes.
Bond.
G-O-N, if I'm not mistaken. It's at the House of the Inspired Hand. Just in the actual dock ward, a little bit north on the southway street.
Thank you for your information. Do we have anything else, gentlemen, that we need to
No.
ask?
Give our regards to Vincent if you see him in the near future. We'll certainly be thanking him in person when we're back in Troll Skull Alley.
Of course.
Have a good day, sir. All right.
Gentlemen, I
Alright.
believe we just stumbled upon something quite interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because on that necklace was a piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost. God damn it.
Got him.
It's gonna be one of those days.
Boing.
Boing.
Bang.
Well, we should perhaps find the source of this marionette, this puppet. I believe this is what we're looking for, and would explain how it managed to escape without being another
Maybe.
victim of the blast.
Or maybe find who is controlling it. That too.
The puppet can't go far from its puppeteer, magic or not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take that lead. That sounds good.
You said it was on the south side of the, or he said it was on the south side of the dock ward.
So it's on the southway street in the dock ward.
Oh, Southway
Um,
Street. Okay.
Yes. So for where you guys would be now, I hate that this map isn't actually nice at all. So you guys would kind of be down in the southern ward. That's where, it's kind of where you would have worked your way up north, kind of making your way into the trade district. So the actual dock ward would be off to your west, approximately where you are now.
Okay.
So you guys are going to go ahead and actually make your way to see if you can find the House of the Inspired Hands.
I
Might
believe
as well.
I
Sure,
believe so. I don't like having fireball wielding puppets climbing around the rooftops of our new bar.
Yeah. Pretty damn scary.
Charred customers is not good for business.
So as you guys make your way over, still the same thing as previous. A lot of talk going on about the actual explosion itself. It seems like that you're getting all sorts or there's all sorts of information kind of coming from all over. You have no idea if some of it is true, some of it is false. Some people are talking about it being the Zentarum, some the Xanathar, some saying it's another rogue group that ended up causing this. All throughout the process, you start hearing some of the names of the people that ended up actually, some of the people that were actually kind of killed in the blast. As it just seems like kind of a bit of several different people. There doesn't really necessarily seem to be a connection at all between them.
Okay.
But as you get a little bit closer to that area, you do see something that looks kind of a cross between a temple and a workshop. and on it you actually see a symbol, and it's the actual symbol of Gond, who you would be familiar is a deity, almost like a blacksmith. So the symbol itself kind of looks like a wooden gear, and on it are kind of engraved anvils as well as hammers, just basically anything that you would kind of associate with an actual blacksmith. And it's kind of prominently displayed on kind of a tower that kind of sticks out of it, almost like a bell tower of sorts or a clock tower of sorts, and it's about halfway up. And as you kind of get closer to the building, you see a silhouette of someone actually sitting outside, almost hanging over the actual opening of the clock tower itself. And it seems to be kind of long, scraggly legs, kind of extended out arms, and just because of the description of what you had seen before, you almost get an idea that it is a nimble right that someone was speaking about previous, and it seems to be kind of a flock of birds also kind of surrounding the tower itself.
Okay.
So there's one of these nimble rights on the roof, or it's in the storefront.
Yeah, so it's kind of doing like what Quasimodo would do, kind of like sitting outside, kind of peering out of the bell tower itself, or the clock tower rather.
Gotcha. From this distance, can I see if there's any damage to this nimble right? Does it look like it got burned in any way, or if there's pieces missing?
No, it's pretty high up. It's about 30 feet from where you're standing now, so you just make out the actual figure itself. You don't actually see anything from it.
Well, I believe we found the means to which that necklace came falling from the sky. Seems to coordinate with what the child said and what the halfling told us while we were investigating. Seems odd that it would go north and then immediately, well, unless it immediately ducked out and went back to its source. Perhaps it was running low on energies or magics that were driving it.
Yeah, it could just fell out from like either the caster or the user bolted, or might have ran out of energy or magic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of people kind of going in and out of the temple itself.
Perhaps we should take a look inside and see if we
head in and see what's going on. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
before we
let's-
go in, is this a pretty popular religious spot in the city, or at least for craftsmen? Is it something that would be well known?
So it is well known. The God itself isn't really a deity that is necessarily worshipped. It's more so almost like a patron saint than it is anything. People know this idea and have this this just kind of reverence towards God. But as far as like an act of worship or anything like that, they're not 100% sure, or you're not 100% sure. But there are a ton of people kind of going in and out of this temple, and it seems like kind of all ages. Older people, seems like parents actually going in with their kids, just kind of all sorts of people, shapes, sizes, builds are all kind of going in and out of this little half temple, half workshop. Awesome. Cool. So where we go? Good to continue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Continue.
That was actually really good.
That was really good.
Pretty spot on. Crazy. Okay.
Continue.
Yeah, so as you guys, I'm assuming you were walking into the temple itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys walk into the temple, there's just all sorts of people kind of running around, and it seems like there's all sorts of different inventions going on. There, kind of in the center of the actual temple itself is a small, it's about 4 foot by 4 foot little clock. It's about 4 inches high. 4 feet high as well. And it going off every 15 minutes. There's a ton of different wooden flying machines kind of going around the entirety of it, of the building itself. There's a ton of miniature models of different things kind of all throughout Waterdeep. Some stuff seems to be moving on its own. Something has gears that kind of move and turn its legs as well. There's all sorts of different armaments and just several different small models of what seems to be submarines, and a lot of almost idea crafting kind of happens here. But it seems like a very big inventor's hall more than anything.
Okay.
These are quite ornate devices. Seems whoever made these perhaps could make our fireball-wielding friend rather easily. Does there seem to be the proprietors or the owners of this, or the caretakers of this establishment, are they easy to tell apart from the people passing in and out of the temple?
So you look around for a little bit and you do notice just one person who's kind of greeting several different people all around, showing the kids the different inventions, showing them different toys that kind of start in the hand and just kind of fly up into the air really quick with a little bit of a pop and then disappear as it seems like a ton of kind of sparks fly all throughout the actual center itself. You get some idea that they may be someone running or upkeep or just doing something.
Perhaps we should talk with these individuals and see if they have any information about our little humanoid friend up on the roof.
Sounds good.
I like it.
I'm gonna
So,
walk
swing
up to
around.
them and kind of observe as they're showing this to the children and the people coming in, and just watch to see how they're going about it. If does it appear like they're magically infusing these devices, or if it's some sort of other mechanical means or a combination of the two?
Kind of a combination of the two itself. Just based on the nature of how the things are moving, it doesn't seem like anyone's actively controlling them, but you get an idea that possibly it is some sort of magic actually happening.
Okay.
It's quite a fancy device you have there. Would you mind explaining to me how it works? Just sharing some details? I'm quite curious.
Oh, all of the flying machines and everything in the area?
Anything. This is quite magnificent. I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, I've heard of more natural magics and things of that nature, but I've never seen arcane or any type of magic implemented in quite a way like this to give life to inanimate objects in such a humanoid fashion.
Of course. I mean, some of this is done by magic that seems to just kind of stay around. Other things, just simple design of gears, and we try to get as close as possible to perpetual motion. I mean, these are absolutely extraordinary inventions people came up with, and we're just not exactly sure. Some of the stuff was just kind of gifted to us. We use a lot of donations in the hall itself.
I'm curious. These devices, do they have do any of them have a more autonomous will? Are they able to operate outside of being directly controlled? Is there a limitation to what they can do?
I mean, there are some that can't stray terribly far from its creators. If some of the stuff were to leave, they wouldn't necessarily be able to function.
We saw a quite interesting creation up on your roof on the way in, and that's what drew us in. We were quite curious. People had mentioned a humanoid device that had shown quite an awe in the recent celebrations, and said that it was something fascinating that we had to check out while we were in the area. So that's what drew us here. That one in particular, does it operate on its own, or does it have to be directly controlled by a puppeteer?
The one in the tower?
Yes, the one that can be seen from a distance as you approach.
Oh, yes. That's Nim. It was gifted to us. Not many people question him himself. I'd be more than happy to show you him. He's quite a particular invention, I suppose.
Do all your robots have names, or is it just this one?
This is the only one we have.
Might I inquire who gifted you this amazing device? It's quite extraordinary. It'd be something I would one day love to investigate and take a closer look at, if they would ever be willing to show me how the device functions.
I mean, been a while. I know it was given to us by Wizard. I'm sure I could probably find a name, but outside of that, I'm not 100% positive.
This Nim, does he run errands for you all? Do you use him for more mundane tasks, or is he simply a device for spectacle and entertainment?
He helps us out to run the temple itself, but he doesn't leave the grounds.
Okay. Yeah, let's check him out.
Yeah, I would love to see more closely this Nim. We were told that it was quite a wonder to behold.
Oh, of course, he's a great little creation. And the person who you still haven't exchanged names yet with, make your way up this kind of spiral staircase up the clock tower, and there's a door, and as it kind of you guys get closer to the door, the person kind of squints and just says, well, that's quite peculiar. That's not the lock that I would have installed on the door. Don't know who would have done that. I don't have a key for it at all. Please excuse me.
You need me to break down that door?
She does make her way further down the staircase, hoping to find anything, and she just starts calling out names, asking if anyone had installed a lock.
Excuse me, ma'am. What was your name again?
My name is Valetta.
Valetta?
I'm the priest of the temple.
It's wonderful to meet you. My name is Kai.
Thank you.
We're travelers and recent new residents of Waterdeep, and we wanted to see some of the spectacles while we wait for our new accommodations to finish being renovated. And we were told to come and see the amazing devices you had in your temple. Does this Nim, does he have a particularly close caretaker or someone that directs him more often than not?
Mainly just me and others in the temple.
Does she seem to be fairly forthright with her explanations, or?
I don't know, maybe. You can go
You
ahead and
gotta
make a check.
roll for that.
Let's roll for it.
So, insight?
You can go ahead and make an insight check on that.
Okay.
I might be useful here if your roll's terrible. I have +3.
13.
She seems to be telling the truth.
You said you weren't aware that there was a lock on this door. Seems odd and to lock oneself from the outside, but this Nim, is he quite agile? Is he able to climb and do acrobatic routines? I heard wonderful things. I'm just curious.
Well, they are called nimble rights for a reason. I suppose you could say that's quite acrobatic, as you said.
I'm gonna turn to everyone else and would you gentlemen like to see this Nimblebright as well? I'm legitimately curious at this point.
Well, I mean, too bad we don't have a rogue here.
I mean, we're already here. We might as well. I mean, I'm here. Let's take a look. I mean, we can. If she can't open the door, I'll break this shit.
You're more than happy to.
I'm more than happy to. I'll let her know, lady. If you don't have a key and you can't get in there, I will break that door down for you, free of charge.
Open the door.
I will open that door one way or another.
Free of charge. You're doing this person a favor.
Listen, listen.
Breaking down
She
doors in a
said-
temple.
One day there wasn't a lock, and the next day there is a lock. She didn't pay. She didn't pay for that lock. She doesn't know where it comes. I'm doing her a favor. I'm giving her access back to what she should have.
I can just turn into a, I don't know. I'll just turn into an elk and just charge the door.
I'll let you guys handle this however you would prefer.
I'll just throw it back. Lady, do you want me to break this door down? I will. Just say the word. Just say it. I'll do it.
She's quite apprehensive, and she says, if you could bust out the lock, I think I would prefer that rather than the door itself.
Abraxos, perhaps I can jam the tip of a sword in here and you could give it a nice kick to perhaps bust the lock and not completely destroy this poor woman's door this time around. Perhaps minimize the carnage.
That's not my normal speed, but I like you guys, so I'll give it a shot.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of position the tip of the sword in a way that, you know, is between the I'm assuming it's a padlock of some kind. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's almost like a deadbolt.
Oh, it's part of the door.
Yeah, it's part of the door. It seems like someone
Oh.
installed it inside the door.
Okay.
Oh, then we're smashing the door. No, we can keep trying.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna position the blade so it points directly into the lock. Abraxos, if you'd be so kind as to give this a good swift strike.
All right.
I'm gonna, if I'm assuming the deadbolt's here and then the sword is just kind of pointed directly into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I cast Divine Smite, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And I
You
lose
come
an
down
arm.
on the sword itself.
Please don't roll a 1. I like my hand.
No, you just want to just roll d20.
Yeah, just go ahead
Alright.
and make essentially an attack roll. We'll call it that.
Yuck. 6. Listen, precision's not my game, man. Precision is not my game. I'm just.
He can crit a black bear, but he can't kick through it.
Are you just trying to smash it with your war pick?
I'm trying to smash his sword into the lock with my war pick. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and do a damage roll.
Oh, hot. All right. Let me just double check what that is. Like what my damage roll would be for
hitting
My war
something,
pick roll.
if you were to hit, yeah.
Sure.
Hit it real hard.
7.
Okay, so you completely miss the sword.
Oh,
You completely missed the lock itself. However, the door seems to be made of pretty brittle wood, and your actual hammer itself goes straight through it and leaves a convenient like arm-size hole. And it busts it out in the door itself.
nice.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
gently
lady. At least
reach.
we,
I'm gonna gently reach through the hole and turn the thumb turn lock. It wasn't what I intended, but the door's open. Sorry.
We can repair that. We're all inventors, quite handy. And you all just kind of enter a room. It's not the biggest room in the world. And it seems to be kind of scattered with all sorts of different things, all kind of strewn about. And in the corner, almost, I guess, cowering at this point because of the loud crash of the actual door just getting destroyed, is that nimble right that you had seen before.
The one that was on the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Valletta just says, "That's Nim."
Mm.
As we walk in, Does he, at closer inspection, or can I see any damage or burning or anything that looks like it would have been the result of a blast?
No, it seems to be in perfect working order.
Hmm.
Oh. My man Nim.
Hmm.
Do these things speak? Do they talk?
Valletta lets you know that it is able to understand, but not necessarily speak to you in an actual verbal language. Is that it's able to make hand motion, and Valletta explains that it was able to teach it some basic sign language, so that Nim would be able to kind of respond.
Nim, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to nod your head yes or no. Does Nim recognize my speech and nod a little bit?
Nim's not moving its head at all.
Oh. Say we get a little physical, boys.
Before we get physical, meow. So, okay. When we walked in, is Nim just standing there, or is he actually moving? Like, did he walk over to us? Did we walk over to him? Like, was he moving at all?
Nim's still in the corner. Once Nim heard the huge crash, Nim just kind of seemed to move from its little perch that it was at over to a corner of the actual clock tower, and almost seems to be kind of hiding a little bit. More so scared from any sort of expression that you can get from some sort of marionette sort of figure.
Okay.
Oh, Nim, do you happen to be missing something?
Nim kind of looks at you and just shakes its head back and forth. No.
Yeah, you know where I was gonna go, Vale. I think.
Okay.
Foghorn,
Mm-hmm.
do you still have those ball bearings?
Oh yeah, always. They go with me everywhere.
Perhaps Nim
Classic.
can show us a little acrobatics. Miss, is he able to juggle and perform, acts of a more dexterous nature? That we could perhaps see what he's capable of?
Of course, and nimble rights are, again, quite dexterous, quite nimble. If you wanted to juggle, or it could, sure, go ahead and kind of possibly do some sort of routine.
I'd love to see. I would like to observe this implement, this creation of yours, or whomever donated it to you. Foghorn, would you mind lending us a few of those ball bearings, and perhaps
You
we
can have 3 of my 600 ball bearings.
Whoa, 3! Oh my god, that's
3 whole ball bearings.
Wouldn't even give me 1.
Not one more, not one less. 3 on the money.
Nim, could you perhaps show us one of your routines? We heard amazing things. We'd love to see. Sorry to have scared you. We'd love to see what you perform and show us what you're capable of.
And Nim shakes its head. Yes.
And I take the 3 ball bearings and poorly try to juggle. and say, "I heard you're much better at this than I am."
And Nim just kind of puts its wooden hand up. And just nods again.
And I'll casually toss the ball bearings, and I heard you're quite the entertainer. Could you perhaps use those to show us a little something?
Yeah, so as you toss the ball bearings, Nim catches them between its fingers, and then just kind of tosses each one up in the air and begins some sort of juggling routine, kind of moving in and out between using both of its hands, kind of one hand, and just kind of goes on this impromptu routine, very dexterous in nature for probably a good 20 minutes before it seems to kind of get bored and just kind of catches all the balls again in its hands, and proceeds to kind of move closer, extending its arm out with an open.
Yeah, I want those
open
3
wooden
back,
palm.
bitch.
They weren't
My ball
peeps.
I'll, clap and thank him. And I'll pull out a few copper, and hand him in exchange for the ball bearings back.
Give him a bread roll. A crusty ass bread roll.
The autonomous.
A week and a half old bread roll.
Jeez,
Moldy
dude.
ass, crusty rock bread roll.
You wooden ass, metal ass looking.
Oh.
Kept in the bottom of the dirty ass bag looking bread.
I swear that's gonna be. We ever fight some big enemies? Somebody please just throw that at them.
Throw a bread roll straight at it.
Like, you know what? Use a punk. Use a bitch. 2-month-old ass bread roll.
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
Maybe we'll treat it like the eggplant in the first Spelunky.
It's like a brick at that point.
Yeah. So yeah, Nim takes the gold and walks over to Valletta and the copper, and just hands the copper over to Valletta, who takes it and just kind of pockets it. And Nim kind of goes back.
All right, hold on. I got an idea. I'm curious. I don't know how. I thought this is where you were gonna go, Vale. Maybe you weren't thinking, but I'm gonna. All right, so Tenach, can I borrow the necklace that we got before?
Well, out of character, I was considering just pulling it out and going, "You missing a little something," and. But
That's basically what I was gonna do. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Like, I didn't want him to like pull some zoomy shit and just whoosh, snatch it out of my hand and run away or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
blow
why
us,
I-
blow us to pieces with it.
Yeah. Then
That's
we all
fair.
die in a triple fireball. Like.
Yeah, the
Well,
fireball
so-
doesn't kill us. The ball bearings acting like a shotgun would.
So here's my counter to that is that yes, I think that's a thing. That could potentially happen. But I'm willing to take the gamble because I have pretty good sleight of hand. I have +4 sleight of hand. So if he tries to do that, I can. What's it called? Oh, actually no, not sleight of hand. Sorry, I'm thinking something else. Damn, I thought it was sleight of hand. Never mind. I have +1 to it. But the other thing too is that I don't think that even if he tries to snatch it from us, he's not gonna blow up the temple. If he's here and this is his home, I don't think he's gonna nuke us, at least in this room. And especially because the granny's in this room, I don't think that's gonna happen.
The other thing
I'm
that
just curious what his reaction is.
makes me nervous is he wasn't limping. That's why I had him do the acrobatic stuff, because I wanted to see if he had a limp.
Yeah, there's another thing. It could have been more than just
Juggling notably shows off limps.
Mhm. Juggle
I
on
wouldn't
one
be
foot.
able to juggle and dance around with a limp. I can't juggle and dance around on a good day, much less with a busted leg.
How about? Oh boy, how about we? How are we gonna test a limp? Like, I don't know.
I thought that was probably the most effective way of doing it.
Breakdance.
But now I'm
Like,
fairly certain that we may have a second.
Can
Perhaps we have a second.
one of us clumsily fall and like kind of hit him on the shoulder by accident, but on purpose? Just to see how he reacts.
If you'd like,
I'm-
sure.
I'm gonna trip.
Turn into an ostrich and fall on him.
Fucking big ass
Go
little ass
absolutely
head,
wild.
big old neck.
I'm gonna turn into a cow and fall.
And then you're gonna be picking splinters out of your ass.
Oh,
What's the bludgeoning damage of a falling cow in D&D?
I bought the handbook. It's not in here. What? This is such a ripoff. I thought this covered everything. I thought this was the basic handbook.
we need some basic shit right now for D&D of falling damage of a cow.
Of a cow.
What was the caretaker's name again? I'm sorry. The female that's with
Valletta.
us. Valletta. Valletta. You said do you recall who the donator of Nim was? We're quite awed by it. This would be something that we could perhaps, purchase for ourselves for our up and coming establishment to attract new clients, and we'd love to know who created Nim. He seems quite unique.
To my knowledge, it was just we got it from a wizard on the Isle of Lantern. He came to see the temple and just gave Nim to us. It's a small island, kind of in the seas off the actual coast of Waterdeep itself. It's notable because the entire population of the sea are people that actually worship Gond.
Mm.
Is this wizard still a resident of Waterdeep, or was he just visiting?
He was just visiting. I would have figured that he would have went back to the island after providing. He was just kind of seeing the temple itself.
Nosh, I'm out of ideas. Perhaps we should, as you and Abraxos were discussing, present this Nim with the trinket we discovered earlier today.
Your call to knock.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was just saying that in character, it's your call.
For what?
If you want to give me the necklace to try it. You are the bearer of the necklace. I will not take it from you. I will only do it if you say so.
Alright, I'm gonna slide it to you on the low.
On the low.
I'm gonna slide it to you on the on the down low, a little handshake on the way there, a little
Are y'all exchanging a necklace or something else?
I don't know.
A lot of innuendos tonight.
I don't even know what the fuck all that was.
Their secret necklace handshake.
Secret down low handshake.
Give me dap. What's up?
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the necklace
All right.
on the DL.
On the DL. All right, hold on. Let me just see one thing just before I do it. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm good. Just in case I try to do something. All right, so I'm gonna walk up to him, and then I have it in my hand, and I'm just gonna basically shoot my shot and just say, does this look familiar to you? And just see what his reaction is.
Yeah, so Nim kind of looks over it and is almost admiring it. It seems to be nice craftsmanship. And suddenly Nim still sees the piece of wood actually hanging off of it. And seems to point at the necklace and almost kind of makes a circle around it and just shakes its head no, and then points over at the actual splinter itself and shakes its head yes, and moves over to a table that has a kind of cloth thrown over it, and Nim rips off the actual cloth itself, and it's full of different wood pieces. This is something that Valetta looks over to and just says, Nim, were you building up here? And Nim puts its head down and just kind of nods yes, and Valetta looks over it a bit more and just says, these are all parts of you. Were you building other nimble rights? And Nim shakes its head yes.
Oh, fuck.
And
Oh god, it's
just-
Terminator.
Oh my god. What's the archaic D&D version of Skynet?
Oh, my god.
Drakennet.
Draken neck.
yeah. But Nim starts to kind of make all sorts of hand motions and points to himself and just says, puts up the number 1 and is a bit kind of looks down and starts to kind of tinker with the wood parts, and he has like a small model as reference, and he holds it up and points at himself and points at the model and just puts up the number 2 as if to signify now there would be 2 of us, and tries to give it an over-exaggerated grin. You were lonely up here, so you wanted to make company, and Nim shakes his head yes. Suddenly Valetta says, beckons down through the door and down towards the staircase, and some people come in. Seems like workers, or I guess acolytes of the actual temple itself, and just angrily looks at Nim and just says, we had a conversation about creations, you could not do that. And she orders the acolytes to go and start collecting some of the pieces and parts as she also takes some and works her way down the staircase.
Damn.
Yeah, but that just opens the door to a bunch of other questions. Yeah, he made a friend, but he made a bomber. But then, secondly, why would he do it? And then the next thing, where the hell did he get? Like he stole the necklace, right? Is that what he stole from someone else? Like I forget exactly what it was. It was part of the city guard or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm like forgetting 100% from what the origin was. If we found out what it was.
You didn't find out. You found out what it was. You're not 100% sure where it came from. You get the idea
We
that
just didn't wanna-
possibly
yeah.
Yeah, Nim. Again, you're not sure where it came from, but you believe that it belongs possibly to one of the nibble rights that Nim would have created.
I'm gonna look at Nim. And say, Nim, have you seen this necklace before?
Nim again shakes his head. No.
Do you recognize this chip of wood?
And Nim shakes his head yes, and again grabs the small model of the nimble right that he had previous and just points at it.
Man.
Nim, were you building a friend for yourself? Or for someone else?
Nim points at himself.
Okay. Where, Nim, did someone give you these parts and pieces in exchange to make yourself a friend? Who gave you these materials? Can you...
So Nim shakes his head and just says, as to say yes to the first question, did someone give you these parts and pieces? Shakes his head yes, and then he walks over to a piece of wood and very crudely kind of etches into it a name of some sort. And it just says Draxel.
Draxel.
That rascal.
That rascal Draxel.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, Jarlaxle.
Huh.
As I'm kind of stretching here, because this, as someone of elven lineage, would that name ring a bell or sound familiar?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Is the temple guide still in the room with us, or did she leave with the acolytes?
No, she would have left with the acolytes, kind of carrying a whole slew of wood and metal pieces.
Well, gentlemen, I believe we have a new quarry here. This Jarlaxle may be the true culprit behind this. Nim seems to just be an innocent bystander.
Yeah, I agree.
Seems something was done to his attempted companion, his that may have been outside of his control.
Seems like a outside third party was having it made for their own evil, dark reasons.
Certainly not a name I've ever heard before, but just as you gentlemen, I'm not as familiar with this part of the world. Not yet, anyway. But it, if they're brandishing such dangerous magic infused in items that is capable of such destruction, we need to find them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, true.
It gives rise to a tremendous amount of concern if something like that were to happen again. It's already taken the lives of innocent people.
Oh, do we know where... Oh, Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah,
Shiny.
no, I was gonna get there. I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, basically a two-parter. Does your friend that you built, does he stay here, or do you know where he stays?
He points down at the floor and just shakes his head no.
Okay.
Well, damn, you built him to hang out with you when he doesn't even stay here. What the shit?
Yeah.
He was your boy.
Nim goes over to a box and starts kind of rifling through it. And out of it, he pulls this. Let me see if they just have a photo of it. It's kind of hard to explain here. Oh, of course they do.
Love to see what it is.
Okay. Let me see if I show you this. What happens? Should be showing. Oh, it wants to do the handout itself. I'm gonna share something in Discord instead here.
Okay.
I wanted to show you guys like the full story and shit. Cool. So he pulls this thing out.
Oh my god, what the hell?
It seems like quite an odd thing, and he just kind of holds it up, and he takes his little marionette and actually kind of moves it away, and then pulls the trigger of the actual creation itself, kind of pumps the handle, and out pops an umbrella, and it just starts spinning at an incredible rate. And then he takes the actual little thing itself and throws it out the window of the clock tower, the actual like puppet that he made, model. And as the thing kind of flies further and further away, the actual umbrella spins slower and slower and slower.
So he threw the puppet out the window and this contraption.
No, he has a contraption still. So the contraption itself, previous when he had the little model close to him, was spinning at a ridiculous rate. And as he threw the actual small model out the window, the umbrella itself is still spinning. It's just spinning slower as it kind of got further and further out the window.
It's kind of like one of those toys that you would launch the flyer off of.
I know what you're talking
The
about.
little parasol toys.
Yeah.
Is it
Nim, is this some sort of tracking device for your friend?
Nim shakes his head yes.
Oh, that's the question.
I got you, boys.
Hmm.
Do you mind if we use this to find your friend?
Yeah, Nim shakes his head yes and releases the trigger of the device, and the umbrella kind of sinks back into it as he goes to hand it over. And in that process, Valletta is actually in the doorway, and she just says, "Nim, what is that?" And Nim kind of motions to you.
seems Nim has a companion that may or may not be in danger, and since he's been so kind as to help us with our questions and provide us with a bit of whimsy, we'd love to try to find his friend and make sure that no harm comes to him. We do appreciate your time, ma'am, but we swiftly need to be on our way. If anyone were to come for him, I would highly recommend that you not allow him to leave.
And she says, "Well, he can't leave the guard tower or the clock tower anyways, but if you are able to track this thing down, I would love it if you would be able to bring it back to us, destroyed or otherwise. We can't have something as usually wonderful as Nim making its way out into the open, doing whatever it may be doing. If that necklace is of any concern, probably something not too savory.
That's a nice way of putting it. We're certainly going to try to minimize any unneeded destruction, but at the same time, the safety of lives is of the utmost importance, which is up in the air at the moment. But
She shakes her head and just says, I understand. If you bring it back, I can gladly give you 500 gold. You could probably give one of our inventions as well to you. Bring it back and we can kind of discuss a bit more.
certainly.
Most definitely.
Well, gentlemen, I think haste is of the utmost importance right now. If something like this is traveling around with dangerous arcane implements in tow, we should try to track it down as quickly as possible, now that we have a means to do so.
Before we leave, Abraxos, I'd like my necklace back, please, good sir.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Both the jewels on it still.
Shut up, Connor.
Better be.
Yeah, they're both on there. I didn't try to do nothing sneaky. Nothing sneaky with the group, only against other people.
I want my fun stuff.
You're not even using it.
As discussed,
That was one of my last ones. I needed that.
Says
My,
not for indoor use.
my code word, my shapeshift form doesn't have much longer left.
We should perhaps try to use this device and quickly exit as quick. But yes, Tenach's limited magical time is also something to keep in mind.
My body starts fading away. Yeah, it's about that bedtime for me.
All right,
Cool.
that might be a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
Cool.
And I know we're about
Oh,
to
you're
get to the
good.
exciting
No,
part,
I mean, it's 11 something, so
but
Yeah.
it's a good start to the next session.
yeah, that's a really good jumping off point because there's a lot of battle that happens here. Pretty soon,
Oh, I'm ready. I'm fucking ready.
Shiny's like, yeah, boy.
My war pick is pulsing. It's just like, come on, give me some action, man.
Your war pick is pulsing.
It literally is pulsing because you know the one of the spells I have now is it's what's it called? It's called Thundering what?
Thundering Smite.
Thunderous Smite.
Oh god.
And this shit it's so ridiculous. So I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready just to smack
Yeah,
the
you're
shit
ready
out of
just to
something.
absolutely ruin someone's life.
There's bears left to be there's too many bears left unsmitten.
Bears? Bears, doors. I'll start going.
I got a new spell, guys.
Old ladies.
Old lady? Sure, I'm all about it. Whatever, as long as I can punch them.
Moonbeam.